This shocked the internet on Friday nights. This was a surprise action planned by New York Jewish Voice for Peace. They had an action at Grand Central Station starting at 6 p.m. on Friday night. And it was a surprise sit-in meant to disrupt Grand Central. They shut down Grand Central. So the way this worked was they tweeted out to their followers and their members, be in Midtown at 6 o'clock and be ready because we're going to text you where to go and we're going to need everybody there on time to make this work all at once. Because within minutes of this crowd gathering at Grand Central Station, the cops shut the doors and locked everybody out. That's why everybody had to be there at the same time to make this happen. Because if the cops got word that a protest was forming or a sit-in was forming that was going to disrupt the flow of transportation, because don't forget, they did this at the most disruptive time they could have, Friday night, Friday afternoon. That's when the trains are at their busiest, rush hour, right? And so New York Jewish Voice for Peace flooded Grand Central Station. Here's a supercut of what happens. I will kind of narrate along at certain points where I feel I have to. But for the most part, we'll just let this play through. A really fantastic action here. So let's let this play. No more weapons, no more war. Ceasefire is what we're fighting for. That's the chant. For those who have never been to Grand Central, this is a huge concourse, obviously. I mean, this is thousands of people. Never again for anyone. I love that song. See, so they closed the train station right after they got there.
This entrance is now closed.
I'll just pause it here for those who have never been to New York, never been to Grand Central. The first room you saw was the Grand Concourse. That's the main room that accesses most of the tracks. Outside that, on both sides, there's like a little shopping section with, you know, Starbucks, some restaurants, a newsstand, and there are some more tracks that you can access through there. So as you could see, an overflow crowd, not just in the Grand Concourse, but all over. I mean, this place was absolutely packed. There were thousands of people in there. A fun fact I know from being a tour guide, the benches that surround the perimeter of the concourse can seat 700 on the perimeter, right? So imagine to fill the whole place in the concourse and elsewhere. Absolutely massive.
Yeah,
crowd.
this is a good. God, man, that's 3,000.
It's got to be 3,000-4,000. Yeah, at least
about that.
At least, yeah.
And that's just on the inside. There's an overflow crowd outside.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see later. There's people outside. So here they are outside. This is 42nd Street.
I'm an American Jew, and I can't stand to see genocide.
Just to give credit where it's due, these three interviews that we're about to hear, these were conducted by World Socialist website. They have their footage watermarked, but I do want to give them a shout out because they were on the ground and they got these interviews.
I'm an American Jew, and I can't stand to see genocide committed in our name. And I feel strongly that, and the world feels strongly that what's happening in Palestine is unjust. Just because historically our people have experienced harm does not give us the right to perpetuate that same harm on others.
Do you think that there are many Jewish people in the United States and also in Israel who feel the way that you do?
I do. I think that unfortunately our voices are smaller and we are not given the same platform as Zionist Jews, and so that's why it's incredibly important that we're here today and show up and show the world that not all Jews feel like Zionists do, and that we believe in humanity, and that everyone has access to live safely and with liberation.
What do you make of the Democratic Party and the role that the United States ruling class is
I'm
playing?
horrified. I mean, like, they're just, wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, this Biden is no better than Bush. In fact, I think he's worse. So if that was possible. And, the fact that these are the choices that we have, I think that there's something seriously wrong with like what's going on in governance. Even this new Speaker of the House, the first thing he said was, we need to support Israel when the whole country is, most people are against this war, against this genocide.
Why are you here?
That's somebody getting woke.
Many reasons.
For
One
real.
is an impending genocide. Two, that the United States is backing that and is an important player to make sure if anything changes, we have to change what happens here in the United States to end backing for a Zionist regime that's based on apartheid. I'm also in the United States right now, but I'm from South Africa, and so I know what apartheid looks like. And for those people that think that it's not, the only reason I would agree with you is because this is actually worse than Palestine. I mean, worse than apartheid, what's happening right now. And so for any person of conscience, I feel needs to be out and protesting and demonstrating against the ongoing genocide.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second for those who have trouble hearing that. That was someone warning that the NYPD are going to start arresting people, so if you don't want to get arrested, you should leave now. Audience question, Adnan, Kabir, wait, are all these people Jewish? So on the inside, right here in the concourse, you see
On the inside, they're Jewish.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Outside, they're Catholic.
Exactly. You see this is a sea of black shirts. So on the inside of Grand Central, most of the people there are with Jewish Voice for Peace because this was an organized action. So what they did, as I mentioned, was they sent out a text. They told everybody, be in Midtown at 6 o'clock. We'll give you an exact location for the action, and make sure you be there on time because, as I said earlier, the cops are going to close the doors once they figure out something is going on. And so, as you can see, this sea of black shirts indicates that most of the people inside the train station were the people who are with Jewish Voice for Peace who got that initial text message to go and be there. Once the cops blocked everybody out, most of the people in the outer sections of the terminal and outside were people who found out about it because word spread very, very quickly. Obviously, this went pretty much viral as soon as it happened. High-profile accounts. I mean, even Chris Hayes tweeted this out. Michael Moore tweeted this out. And so this got everywhere pretty quickly. So then you had just everybody show up. But the initial crowd gathering, yes, this is mostly Jewish Voice for Peace activists in here at first. So she gave the instruction, okay, the NYPD is going to come and start putting the cuffs on you. So if you don't want to get arrested, now's the time to leave. Let's see what happened after that.
Thank you.
So now we see a long line of people. This is not the line to leave before getting arrested. This is the line to get arrested. So the cops are now waiting to arrest people and load them onto police buses. And here, if you're a New Yorker, you know these are not police buses. These are MTA buses that they had to repurpose for police use and drive people out of there. That's how many arrests were made. And so there they are getting escorted out. So just an amazing
And they are going
action.
to the tombs, which I can tell you as a former guest of the state are no picnic, my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, so just an amazing action, an amazing spontaneous action, a beautiful thing to see. And as that first woman interviewed, very, very important to communicate that not all Jews are on board with what is happening. And that's what made this especially powerful and especially important, that this massive protest started by and attended by mostly Jewish people in a largely Jewish city, New York, which has the largest concentration of Jewish people anywhere in the world outside of Israel.
Yep.
The fact that they shut down Grand Central with a peace message in the face of, like I said, I keep saying it, but this is a world historic human atrocity that they gathered there to protest that, and that they had to overflow their police buses to arrest people, meaning they didn't just leave once the threat of arrest became imminent. They stayed and they made the cops drag them out. What a great thing to see. And, this is happening all over the world, but this spontaneous action by a Jewish peace organization in the middle of New York City, Grand Central Station, rush hour on a Friday, I mean, it doesn't get better than that from an organizing standpoint. So just huge shout out to them. We want to have somebody from their organization on soon.
Yeah, this is really important because there's another group, I think they're called Peace for Palestine. They did a demonstration last Sunday, I think it was, or Wednesday. And then they did another one. This is the one I was going to go to yesterday. And all of the rhetoric was, they're doing this on the Sabbath in a Jewish area, which, by the way, where they were going to be, yeah, there are Jews in that section of Brooklyn, but the Brooklyn Museum, that's not a Jewish area per se. It's not like they were making a point of going right into Hasidic Williamsburg or something.
Right. It wasn't a troll.
No, it wasn't a troll, but that's how it was made out. And they really, because I read an advisory about it, saying Jews should stay out of the area. It may be dangerous for them. Like, they're really trying to paint it as if this is what these protests are. And that is why it is so important what they did. It really disrupts that narrative because they're really trying, everyone's favorite whore, Richie Torres, we'll get into that more on Wednesday. He's trying to pressure the federal government to take funding away from schools that don't come out strongly enough for Israel, because I'm not aware of any school where the administration is overtly speaking out for Palestine. Some of them are trying to take a nuanced stance to not piss off their students.
Right.
But I haven't seen any that are full-throatedly supporting the Palestinian cause. But they are desperately trying to spin all opposition as anti-Semitism. And it's very heartening to see that narrative fall apart, because they've been getting away with that for literally 75 years.
Yep. Indeed.
Please clap.